Welcome, intrepid explorers, to Super Soul Solutions, where Elena Danaan has returned to continue with part 4. As many of you now know, Elena is a multi-talented professional archaeologist, epigraphist, artist, author, and multilingual emissary for the benevolent Galactic Federation of Worlds, comprising thousands of races. She continues to share knowledge and updates that are important for us to know as contributing and awakening members of humanity. Today, you will learn more about advanced civilizations who share this planet with us inside Earth, often referred to as the Agarthan Network, and specifically about the Telosian members. You will also hear the rarely told story of the freedom fighters called the Black League, I call them Jedis, who fought against the negative Orion Empire in the darkest of days. Think of Star Wars. Nikola Tesla, my favorite extraordinary starseed envoy scientist with over 300 patents, said, quote, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Elena's protector, fifth dimensional Palladian commander Thorhan Ariadjan, has repeatedly said that our only number one job as humans on Earth Terra is to do what, folks? Raise our frequencies. So Elena will be providing easy and simple ways to do this on a daily basis. Some of you may also be familiar with the 2014 book called Power versus Force. It's based on a doctoral thesis of David Hawkins, and he created a simple one-glance map illustrating vertically up and down the lowest to the highest vibrations. And next to those vibrations, he put labels of states of consciousness or emotions that would resonate in that frequency or vibration. He calls it the map of consciousness. He used a measurement of 0, which was the lowest, meaning death, to highest, which is source consciousness, and he put 1,000 max just to, exemplify that. So, for example, he asserts fear has a frequency of 100, and joy has a frequency of 540, and gratitude, freedom, and empowerment, which is what Elena, and I hope our listeners are all about, has a frequency of 900, which according to him is actually higher than love. It is an interesting visual self-improvement tool, and I will have the map for you on my future YouTube show of this show, so you can pause and take a look at it. So with that introduction on frequencies and vibrations, I welcome you back, Elena. Are you there?
Yes, I'm very glad to be here again, Marilee. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh my goodness. I should be thanking you many times over, but you are more than welcome. So let's start right away by having you speak about vibrations and frequencies. And would you explain for our audience why raising our frequency is so important, and then perhaps give examples of ways to raise our frequency?
Yes, so this is something extremely important, and this is the thing we need to do in order to evolve, in order to win this war, which is a conflict on so many levels at the same time. Raising our frequency, what does it mean? We are made of frequency. A frequency is a pulse, is a rate of pulsation of the different atoms with each other. So we are composed of matter, of flesh, and this matter, the atoms in these bodies are vibrating between them to a certain rate. And that's a frequency. We are in that frequency. Everything that vibrates at the same rate of frequency is in the same density. A density is a density of matter. And the faster the pulsation vibrates between the atoms, the higher will be the frequency. And when you reach a certain height, I would say a certain speed of frequency, you change density, because one density of matter is only, you can perceive it in a range. It's like octaves on the melody of the universe. Each density is an octave, and when you play higher notes, after a certain limit, you change octave. So that's what is it about? It is about raising our frequency and changing to a higher density. But then also, why is it important to vibrate in this higher / faster frequency? Because, well, firstly, all life in the universe follows this evolution. We are all meant in time to speed up our frequency. But when we are under attack of beings of a lower frequency who want to lock us down at a lower frequency for their own agendas, well, we need to raise our frequency faster, not to be trapped. So that's where we are at the moment. The Earth is invaded by aliens like the Orion group, the reptilians. They are vibrating in quite a low frequency, but they want to really maintain the human race as a low frequency as well, to disable their power, our power, to disable our sovereignty, our clarity of mind, our intelligence, just to maintain us as dumb, primitive beings with basic consciousness. So that is very important to raise our frequency, to escape this trap. And that is the best way also to help those who fight for us to liberate Earth. So that would be firstly what I would say, why it is important to raise our frequency faster than normally the time it would take, you know.
Okay. That's very interesting, and I want people to know that the liberation is happening, and we are being successful. There is enough of us, and more every day, that are making a daily commitment to, you know, process our emotions, process our ancestral wounds, and then rebalance ourselves and raise our frequencies. So would you like to give people an example of how they can simply and quickly raise their frequencies? There's many examples, so go ahead.
Well, firstly, we need to understand that the way we are locked down in a lower frequency is by the dark controllers. I'm going to call them like that, people who don't want us to evolve. They bombard us with lower frequency for us to resonate with this lower frequency, and these lower frequencies are very identifiable. It's mainly fear. They use fear. Fear has a very low frequency. And when you resonate with fear, when you decide, because you're always in control, you can accept not to. But when you decide to resonate with a message of fear, sending you fear, when you decide to respond by fear, you become in resonance with this frequency. And you become it, and you vibrate in this frequency, and you're trapped in it. And it takes effort, very, very strong effort, to step out of fear. Once you're in it, you need to extract yourself from fear by comforting yourself, reasoning yourself, trying to find ways of not being fearful. That takes effort. So in the first place, let us not respond to fear. That would be the first step. Anything that comes towards us that carries a message of threatening, of fear, just let us refuse it. Oh, this is not meant to empower me. This is meant to force me to obey in fear. Oh, that's not good. It can come from the government. It can also come from a religion. It can also come from a partner or a friend. It can come from anywhere. But the danger at the moment is the governments, what they send us.
And the news.
Refuse fear. And the news. The news is their tool. Or switch off the TV. Oh my gosh, that's the main tool. Switch off the TV. And listen, if you find some alternative TV channels or radio channels, listen to this, not the mainstream ones. Because that's going to bind you in this low vibration. And it's very oppressing, and you have adverts, it's constant. Refuse it. So first, go within yourself. Every day, practice a meditation and a discipline, a healthy and clean discipline. It must not be painful or annoying, or it needs to be amusing and enjoyable. Because if you think, oh no, I need to do my meditation, I need to put my body in this difficult position that really hurt my knees, and I need to be straight. Oh, where's my yoga mat? Oh, I can't do it. Oh, that's not it. I do my meditation and practice just in the morning, having my coffee, or just going in a garden, listening to the birds, grounding with the earth, or just going for a walk, or just there sat with a book or crystal in my hands, and just there. Or you can have your cat or your pet. Just that's what it is. And what it is about, it is to recenter within yourself, and feel grounded with the planet, with reality. The planet is here. It's solid. It's real. There's nothing more real than these rocks below your feet. So ground with it. Will be able to knock you down if you do that. I mean, emotional storms or whatever. And just pay attention to your body. And it is only about you, your body, your breathing. And it takes more time than the rate where I'm speaking. But then the purpose is to go within, and to see who is inhabiting this body. Because that's just temporary flesh suit. And if we realize that we are not this flesh suit, that there is someone inside, and if we reconnect with this being, then we realize that this being is of a higher frequency. That's who we really are. We are of a higher frequency naturally. We're just trapped in these bodies who are a lower frequency. So when we reattune with this being inside, well, suddenly we are vibrating at a higher rate. And we are free. This is it. That's very simple. Just go with it. Switch off the fear that is broadcasted, bombarded to you. Switch off the noise and go within. Meet yourself. And that's the first step. That's very important.
Thank you so much. That is. And I really agree with you. For me, I have to make it fun, or I resist it. So, people, you probably know this. It makes so much sense, whether you're swimming or playing or smiling, laughter's big, and, yoga and Tai Chi and walking in the sun and listening to beautiful music and all of those kind of things can immediately raise your frequency. Would you agree, Elena?
Oh my gosh, yes. There are so many things you can do. Just be happy. Go within to the feeling of peace and happiness, and everything that makes you happy with yourself, enjoying just being alive. And laughter. Oh, laughter is such a high power. I always say laughter is a superpower. Laughter is a superpower. Why? Because when you laugh, you don't think anymore about any dark or lower things. You do not. When you laugh about a good joke, just think about it. You're happy. And your whole being vibrate such a high frequency. And what is good also is that when you laugh, your body has spasms, and these spasms are very good because they oxygenate the blood. It's very healthy. It produces very good chemicals in the body, and it's really good. So laugh as much as you can. When you laugh, nothing can hurt you. And first, I would say learn how to laugh about yourself. If you know how to laugh about your weaknesses, or maybe you have I don't know, big nose or big feet, and you don't like them, learn how to laugh about them. Imagine you have a big nose and you're very ashamed of it. Well, anyone can bully you about your big nose, and you're going to be vulnerable. You're going to be wounded and hurt and down. You can even want to kill yourself if the bullying is too much. But if you manage to say, okay, well, I have it, I love you, big nose, and you start to laugh about it and tell jokes to yourself about your big nose. If you manage to do that, nobody can knock you down. So, and that's for everything about you. You don't have a job, you're things like this. That's being strong. And there are things also that can lower your vibration that you absolutely need to avoid. I would say that's a bit drastic to say, but it's up to you to do these things. It's not like obliged, but just be aware that these things lower your vibration. Alcohol, yes, I'm French. I like my glass of wine times 2 times. I do it. To be honest, I do it. I have my glass of wine times 2 times, but it's times 2 times. And I have a good meal, and I know I'm not going to be vulnerable. So alcohol lowers vibration. There are some drugs and substances that do as well. Now, what you put field, the aura, the auric field, the energy, the boundaries of this being, anything you integrate in it, can be object, can be crystals, can be if it's something like crystal, it will lift this frequency. But if it's something of a lower frequency that you put on you, that you wear or you eat or you drink, and if this thing is lower frequency, naturally your being will adapt and lower its frequency to integrate it. And you will vibrate in this lower frequency until your body has eliminated it. And saying this, I am thinking about meat, eating meat. You eat flesh, so your body your light being is going to lower down at the vibration of flesh, of blood. And I mean, most meat we eat, it's from animals who haven't had a good death. And you eat also all the toxins and the adrenaline and all the things and the fear of the animal, the fear, the suffering, the pain, the distress, that's horrible. I mean, imagine you integrate that in your aura, and you smell it. The higher beings I'm in contact with, they say frequency has a smell. And if you smell blood, flesh, death, and fear, well, beings such as reptilians who hunt for people will smell you. It's like being a prey in the forest, being vulnerable in the forest at night. There are wolves somewhere. So if you start to fear, the wolves will smell you, and they will smell, oh, there's a prey there. But if you say, okay, I know there are wolves, but I don't care. I'm not afraid, and I'm going to cross these woods. You are invisible. They won't smell you because you won't broadcast fear. And that works for everything. So what to say else?
What about drugs marijuana, or obviously sugar lowers frequency, but I know some people would have questions about that.
Well, the good things are always in small quantities and occasional. You can have occasionally a little smoke, but if it becomes an addiction, no, it lowers the frequency. Some people like to take drugs to enter an altered state of consciousness. So it depends on the drugs. It can be either an illusion and the chemical reaction in the brain, or it can be a real shamanic experience. But then that is taking an artificial way of reaching altered states of consciousness, and you are vulnerable. I would advise to do that only with a good guidance and assisted, because it's it can be dangerous. So I wouldn't take drugs, because these shamanic state of journeying, altering consciousness, we can all do it naturally. We can all do it if we practice, if we just reconnect with who we are. We will discover that we are naturally able to do that without drugs. And addictions, some addictions are really, nourished by entities who will want you to take more of alcohol, more drug, then they will continue to vampirize your energy, to suck your life force, and to really hook at you. If you stop drinking alcohol, they will go. If you keep on drinking alcohol, they will stay and it's parasites. And so that they will maintain the addiction, they will encourage the addiction, they will even create it. So the best thing is
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, the best thing is not to start.
Yeah. It's funny, when I reincarnated here, the only thing I remember, really, because of the, our minds are so blanked a lot, is a warning of be careful about addictions when you reincarnate, because people don't remember who they are, so they try to seek second best through lower frequency ways, and the earth is full of addictions. So that was the warning I had, which served very well. Why don't you just share really quickly, without belaboring on it, your experience, because Elena loves to sing. She's quite an artist, and occasionally she'll go to the bar in her hometown to sing. And if you can just briefly tell people, because you are a very developed shaman and have many abilities, what you actually saw, like approaching the bar.
Oh yes, I live in a little village in Ireland, and there's a lot of pubs and bars in this village. And I often see a lot of dark entities floating around in the bar, preying, hunting for people to hook upon. And they will go to people who are already well drunk, and they will hook at them, because when you drink alcohol, it switches off your defenses, your natural shields. All your protections fall down when you're drunk. So these entities will hook at you and stay with you. It can be succubus, incubus, it can be lower astral, it can be even reptilians, it can be anything dark, anything, ghosts, anything. So they are all there, and I see these shadows. I'm well protected, so I don't fear them. But I see them just moving around between the people and just smelling them. And when one is really drunk, they just hook at this person and they rub themselves around, and it's really creepy to see that. But how can you tell people, so that's something I experienced.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know it's real because they're addict elves, and they feed off fear and negativity. So this isn't to frighten people. This is just to be real about what we weren't taught. Most of us, unless we had shaman or other training, taught on our responsibility as co-creators on how to protect our body, not because we're fearful, but out of respect, which is basically how to daily realign, your energy centers and fill your energy system and aura with light. So, and by the way, folks, something that'll perhaps help you, it's included. You'll see a picture on the shout out and in the YouTube that I'll do. Elena is wearing a jewelry and pendants, and she has discovered that wearing one around her neck is, one's called a Merkaba clear quartz crystal, and another is a dynamic geometry called the Metatron cube. And she does not sell these, so don't bother her, but I found mine on Etsy.com. Would you explain a little bit about what those do, so people,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very important that is a very, very powerful protection, and it raises your frequency as well. It maintains it in a higher field, and it draws around you a shield of geometric light, and nothing harmful will be able to approach you. So what is it? The Merkaba is the three-dimensional version of the Metatron cube. What is the Metatron cube? It looks like the Star of David. Well, the Star of David is a simplified version of it. Indeed, the Metatron is a symbol which gathers all the create forms and variants of shapes of the universe. It's like a gigantic formula encoded in this symbol, and it is also the symbol of light. It's like written light in mathematical holographic language, universal language, and it's also the name of source, the source of all things. So when you wear a Metatron grid symbol, be it pendant or tattoo, you vibrate in the same frequency as light, the creative light of source, and it is extremely powerful. And then you have the Merkaba, which is the volume, the three-dimensional version of it. This needs to be in crystal, quartz crystal, because it's the purest thing found on Earth that can store light and really generate this light, send it back. So the one I wear is a crystal quartz. It's cut in crystal quartz, and so when you wear it, it's dynamic geometry. It is called on Earth sacred geometry, but I don't like the word sacred because it has a feel of religious or spiritual. It's physics, it's science. It's not something spiritual or religious. It's really physical, and it works. It's science. So it generates. It's a dynamic. I would call it dynamic geometry, because geometry is broadcasting waves of energy. It creates forms. It sends out energy. That's why it's dynamic geometry. So if you wear such a quartz crystal Merkaba, it will send out around your body the replica, the extension of this shape in light. It's geometrical light, and it's a shield, and it makes you invisible. It blinds those who are of a lower frequency, and you're very well protected. And there's ways of activating it. When you do your meditation, you go within to meet yourself. Just gather your attention in your heart chakra, and usually that's where your Merkaba is hanging, the one you wear, and then create a ball of light in your heart chakra. And this is going to take with it the Merkaba, and then you blast it out. That is absolutely amazing. So that's why I'm wearing
That is
one.
very helpful. And I also know that you said to, if I remember this right, you said to raise frequency, you can hold the bigger ones that also you can get on Etsy in your hand and rotate it clockwise. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. So never anti-clockwise. Always, how do you know it's clockwise? Well, imagine you stand on a clock. You stand on a clock. You put a clock on the ground, on the floor, and you just step on it. What direction are turning the needles? You know, that's this direction, clockwise. You just imagine you stand on it, and that's very handy. When you can spin one in your hand in front of your heart chakra or your plexus. You can also, by visualization, construct a Merkaba of light around you. I have on my YouTube, I have tutorials how to do that. I'm guiding you. But it's basically reconstructing the two three-sided pyramids that compose it. So I explained that. And you just design this around you, and you just empower it with your mind. And that's a great shield. And you can spin it clockwise. And that creates an electromagnetic field that is quite impressive. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's going to be very helpful for people. So let's move a little bit into the concept and the ancient history of Lemuria, Atlantis, but specifically focusing on the underground civilizations that are called the Agarthans, and then the Lemurians, who a few survived, specifically, I think 25,000 managed to survive out of millions, and went into the inner earth after the devastations of Atlantis and Lemuria. And Elena has been in contact with Merkak from Telos, which is the capital, and it is basically a beautiful crystalline city under Mount Shasta, California. Now, right now, as many of you know, Mount Shasta is riddled in fires. And I'm just saying on the side here that not all fires at all, but some fires are caused because of the rescue missions done in underground dumps rescuing children and finishing up that on the planet. But would you like to share with people what you know of Telos, any updates, and a little bit about the Agarthan civilization, if you would?
Yes, sure. Telos at the moment is in process of being liberated. It's fine. It's nearly done. Some people must be very surprised. Why did Telos Mount Shasta needs to be liberated? And that's what these fires are, because it's an underground war that's very violent going on there. Because Telos under Mount Shasta was the stronghold, one of the strongholds of the Sikaar reptilian invaders who had taken it a few decades ago. It belonged before to the Telosians, and it has been taken. So I'm going to give you a little bit of quick history. When Atlantis I will go a bit before even. There were people from Alpha Centauri, the planet Silo. These people, they were tall, blonde, even white-haired people. They came to Earth, and a very long time ago, before the last ice age, and they built colonies, and Atlantis was one of them, and they shared it with other people, other races as well. But something bad happened, and Atlantis was destroyed, and so most of the people left. Many died, but a lot left by ships, but also a lot of them escaped by sea, and these ones need to hide, and so they went underground. underground, these people were called Selosi from planet Telos. So underground there was already a big web of cities and tunnels. And who was there? Well, it was the ancient people of Earth, more ancient people, and among them there were all the fairy races, the ancient. There's so many races. I do not know myself how many are there. So all these alien colonists just went underground, and they renamed themselves the Telosians, and they built their capital under Mount Shasta, Telos, and it has been for millenniums and millenniums a place of beauty, of art, of spirituality. It was like a sacred city, a sanctuary. It was absolutely important, for the spirituality of the Agarthan people, the people of the underground kingdoms. But one day, when that started in the 1940s, when the Orion ETs came and the reptilians followed them, Mount Shasta was taken. I mean, when agreements were made in 1954 between the MJ-12 and the Orion group, they were given facilities underground, and the reptilian came on the top of it, and they say, yeah, but we want more. And they took absolutely 80% of all the web of underground, all the Agarthan kingdoms. So many Agarthan people and the Telosians went deeper down. Many of them managed to raise their frequency, but not all of them. The problem is that a lot of Telosians were captive and captured and became slaves, and for generations and generations, and became to work for the reptilians. These enslaved Telosians created for the reptilians something that is called the Silver Fleet. It's very beautiful saucers, silvery color, magnificent. But that the Silver Fleet has always served the reptilians. Yes, I could. Yeah, so that's it.
Well, that's a lot, but I want people to know. So it was always, like you said, this beautiful ancient place, and we could do 3 shows on all the details of that. And it is getting cleaned up as we speak, and I do have some friends there, and so it's not a time where you wouldn't be anyway with the fires, but it's not a time where you'd be a good idea to go camping there, for instance.
No.
Wouldn't be doing that.
No.
Not for a while. Yeah. Okay, so we're coming down kind of to it, and I want people to be introduced to the Black League, who were freedom fighter Jedis in time of Orion, and I believe that we're paralleling that now, and I have an affinity with that group. So would you like to share a little bit of the history of that?
Oh, yes, I love the Black League. I was part of it. I was in it in one of my lives. What is the Black League? Oh, why is it named Black? Oh, it's not because it's bad. We need to stop thinking that, it's like, anyway, the Black League is the rebels. So what happened? How this Black League was created? Well, in the Orion zone, many hundreds of thousand years ago, I think it's 600,000 years ago, I'm not sure exactly, the Greys, the bad Greys, they started to terrorize all the star systems in Orion. They wanted to take everything, all the planets, all the resources. So the inhabitants rebelled, and the rebellion started to be formed. For those who are Star Wars fans, well, Star Wars is a good example of the Orion Wars. I really suspect it has been channeled or copied on this history, because it really looks like it. the Black League was, or the Orion League was, so it was the rebellion of all these star systems, and it was fighters. It was organized, more and more organized fighters. They built their own fleets, and it was imagine the rebellion in Star Wars, exactly a compendium of races together, different races, different cultures, all together organizing themselves to fight back the Empire, the Orion Empire, and that's what it was. And that was the Black League. And this lasted a long time. Parallel to that, formed another structure of more spiritually, the higher spiritually evolved races of the Orion zone, and that was centralized in Al-Nilam, the central star of the Orion belt. The Egaroth and the El-Manuk were from somewhere else, but they came to help and actually submit the idea of creating this, the Council of Nine. Or some are calling it the Orion Council of Light. It's the same thing. The real name is the Council of Nine, which is now the Council of Five, because there are only 5 now races. And these ones were working on energies and frequencies and spiritual side of these wars. So that was them. But the Black League, yes, it's a legend.
It is. That's probably one of the places I know you from, Elena. Because many of the times, it's kind of, there were parts of it like the Dune movie, where we hid out in caves, where we had to teach invisibility, where we hardly had any possessions, and I could see you teaching mystery schools and magic there. But anyway, it's great for people to know about it, because I think quite a lot of people who've been, freedom fighters in these, shall we say, lower drama worlds, are incarnated here. And I agree 100%. And George Lucas got some very inside information. So as I was watching that, and it was interesting that it's such a popular movie because it's hitting people on a subconscious level of them previously having so many lifetimes, in the galaxy and sharing with other species. So thank you so much for that. And by the way, people, Elena, I'd like you to talk about your outstanding book and the names that she talks about of the species, like the Agarthan and things like that. She has drawn personal pictures, drawings of which are gorgeous, with a paragraph of explanation. So you must get this book. So, because I bought it. So tell them where to get and how to contact you, love.
Oh, thank you so much. This book, it's a gift from the stars. Guide of Alien Races. A gift from the stars, Guide of Alien Races. You can find it on Amazon directly, or otherwise through my website, elenadanaan.org. And this book compiles my own personal story of abduction and rescue, and then the whole knowledge I got from my rescuers about all these real alien races, the galactic history, and everything, so much more. So here it is.
And also, you're about ready to publish your second book. Do we get like a little bit sneak about that? Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yes. Oh, I plan to, if everything goes well, publish it start of September, first week of September. This book is about my encounters with Valiant Thor, my wanderings and adventures in this star system with my friends, and also a little bit. It's also a diary of this war. All as I was writing this book all along, everything that happened in the meantime with the war, the event on Earth. That's quite. You hold your breath until the end.
Oh, how fun! And remember, we did together a whole show on Valtor, too, an earlier show. So check that out. And plus, many of Elena's YouTubes are fabulous. I've watched every one. And what is your website so that they can go to that?
Oh, thank you. So it's elenadanaan.org. So you can find everything about me there. And of course, I have a YouTube channel where I put for free all my meditation videos and tutorials. And there are Q&As. You can ask me questions live and plenty of goodies.
Yes, I've bought plenty of goodies. Your T-shirts and your fast-drying towels and the Galactic Federation poster and all kinds of things. So anyway, so I wanted to let people know that if you have a specific question that you would like answered by Elena, preferably relating to one of the pre-published topics for our show, you can email me at merrily@supersoulsolutions.com. And if you would like to receive a shout-out, a couple of days that I always send out with pictures, accurate pictures before the show, and also that describe the bullet points we'll be discussing, the topics we'll be discussing, also email me at merrily@supersoulsolutions.com. My website is supersoulsolutions.com. And all the shows are also put on YouTube channels, my YouTube channel called Super Soul Solutions. So thank you so much, Elena, for your generosity of time and spirit. And you have one of the most delightful, unique blends of fortitude, kindness, and wonder. It's beautiful. I love the childlike nature without being childish, and your care and love shine so brightly. I know we all look forward to being with you again in 2 weeks for part 5. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And before we close, I would really like you to share whatever we know. Raising frequencies is really, really important, and it's not that hard to do. What do you feel is important at this time? And maybe just give people, a lot of people don't know the background of so many wonderful things that are happening right now. I mean, liberation of the moon, liberation pretty much of Mars, liberation of other moons, accords going and agreements going of just share just quickly for, a couple of minutes, kind of a brief overview if you could.
Yes, these are incredible times and incredible to be alive in these times. You are hidden by mainstream media as what's really happening to maintain you in fear, of course, and ignorance. What is happening is that the Earth Alliance, which is the alliance of Earth military, good military, and the Galactic Federation, are kicking us. Liberating the Earth. The undergrounds, the dumps, the undergrounds are nearly all cleared. Maybe 15, nearly 10% is left. It's still going on, but it's nearly done. Antarctica has been cleared of the Dark Fleet. The moon has been liberated. The moon is ours now, and there were evil machines on the moon that were maintaining a matrix and also trapping our souls there. All of this has been taken down and dismantled. Brilliant.
Woohoo!
Yes.
And also the part of the machines were forcing reincarnation for people, but part of them were a huge amount of mind control stuff, too.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah.
Yes, as Thorhan told to me, the matrix has fallen. The only reason why you believe it's still there is because you maintain it yourself by habit. So just, that's very important. Just create your reality. Now you really can do it. And then also Mars. Mars is in the process of being liberated. It's going very well. The reptilians have left on Mars. Still a bit of work, but getting there. One of the moons of Mars, Phobos, has been liberated as well. So now that the victory is near. Our allies think the victory is near. They are convinced of it. So it's great. So they're so convinced that it's nearly over. We still need to fight. The fight is not over, but I mean we're getting there. The victory is pretty much secured. So the Galactic Federation has decided to help us organize the after victory in this star system, not to allow chaos to just rush in, So the Galactic Federation. Oh my God! Yes, it's exactly like the Yalta agreements that before the end of World War II. The Allies just thought about how will be the afterwar, and it's exactly like this, creating safety zones in this star system and helping ourselves to unite space forces and helping corporations to produce now progressive programs for the greater good of everyone. So recently, a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, agreements have been passed on Jupiter. There's a floating station on Jupiter. Agreements have been passed there for helping us organizing ourselves for the future of the star system. And there's a lot to say about it, but basically that's what's happening, and it's looking hopeful. So frequency up.
How many countries to date have been signing for a cooperative, working together, and expansion for the benevolence of all, for the benefit of all? How many are we at so far?
There are actually 14 countries involved, and six of them have been voted to create a unified space force. It would be a bit like the birth of the Starfleet. And one country has been voted to manage this new Starfleet. Is the U.S. So this Starfleet is composed of space countries who have space programs such as Russia, China. Well, the U.S. are in it. So U.S., China, France, Japan, and Australia, I think. Yes, that's it. I hope I'm not wrong. I may be wrong, but I think that's it. So it's about thinking about making the star system a common ground where everyone will have their chance to build something, creating a safety zone. Forbidding battles, forbidding fights, just being there as just behave and think about the greater good of everyone. And once all of this is really settled, we can enter membership with the Galactic Federation.
Yes, it's so beautiful. And people need to know that this is also heavily, in other words, the beings involved can read minds, know the intentions of people, so they're not going to let members come in that are not sincere. And even those that might have played, like Bessos, Brancis, and Monks, might have played at, shall we say, self-serving things, along with covert things, are also kind of getting on board. And that's what their 3 flights out in space were about. Is that true?
Yes, they are the corporations who used to work with the most powerful institution, which has been for a long time the Cabal. Well, these corporations, because the Cabal is falling at really great speed, well, they go with the winner. They are corporates. They just go where the interests are. Okay. Oh wow. Our associate from years is really falling down and hitting his nose on the ground. Oh my God. We don't want to associate with this person anymore. We don't want to go down the drain with them. So we are going to break our agreements and just go and see the winners, the powerful ones who are winning this war, and make deals with them. And that's how it works. But then always look the best interest for them. But then they are not philanthropists. The Galactic Federation is keeping an eye on them. They don't trust them, and
they got to be good boys.
Yeah, that's it.
And shall I just say, in my own words, that China and Russia got a little spanked.
Yes, they didn't. They were very unhappy.
Yes, because of too much self-service. So that gives you all a galactic update, so to speak, as the world, not just only as the world turns, but as the galaxy turns. So you can find much information on both Elena's website and YouTube's and my YouTube's. And thank you so much for joining us. We are almost there. So everyone, keep your frequencies up. We can do this. Until then, onward and upward, friends. And thank you, Elena.
Thank you so much, Mary-Lee. Yes, onward and upward. And we will live long and prosper.
We will. Woo! Wait till we bring out the advanced science stuff. Woo! Okay. All right, everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.